just I'm going to make this statement about Ashlyn. Ashlyn is back. We welcome her back. We're going to let her get acclimated to being back on the team, and we look forward to just, having our entire team back in the fold.
Questions for Coach?
What's it like? What's it like having Ashlyn back? What's it been the past few days? It must feel like, hey, we're all back together again.
Yeah, I mean, we're at our very best when we got our full roster, especially healthy. So it feels good. It feels natural. It doesn't feel unnatural to us. It feels like we're complete now.
Did she
looks great?
A little rusty, or
no, she looks great. Now the highlighters might throw a little rust comment at her, but she looks. She looks natural.
What does acclimated mean?
Acclimated?
Yeah. What is your definition of acclimation? Getting acclimated.
Haven't been here. Now she's here. Now she's got to get acclimated to the being here. Doing 12:30 to 3:30. Her schedule is probably a little bit off. So just getting back to her normal routine, her daily routine.
Do you expect her to be acclimated enough to play Sunday?
If she's out here, she's gonna play. Yeah.
And just one more. I'm wondering this.
Where are you from?
Charleston.
He's David.
I'm David
a
today.
columnist at Charleston now instead of Gene.
Another question. I got you. I want another question, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna break it up. Okay?
Chris, go
John,
ahead.
Yes.
I was gonna say it's a step forward in competition playing NC State. They know you guys, you know them. Final Four matchup. What's that going to be like, and what kind of a test is that for you guys?
Big test. They do know us. We know them. I'm sure they want the results to be a lot different than what it was back in April, and we want the same results. And hopefully we can. Neither one of us is playing at that. The quality of play. Obviously, it's a very early game in the season, and all of us we have to knock some rust off, and hopefully we just put on a really good game for women's basketball, and not set our game back.
It's kind of unusual. It's been a few months, but it still was technically three official games ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of unique, isn't it?
It is. Who knew when we scheduled them that it would be in such a fashion of a Final Four matchup, a rematch of the Final Four. I think it's cool. I think it's great for women's basketball, and hopefully we don't let our game down.
I know, Dawn, there was so much talk about the post play from the game against Michigan. Just what was your message to your post players this week?
Well, no, my message was for all of our team. We weren't that team. We haven't been that team in a very long time. That wasn't rust. That was just us not approaching the game probably the right way that we needed to approach it. It was us. It was just not us. It wasn't the habits that we created. So hopefully we got back to the habits this week. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about how we felt. We got it out. We responded well on Wednesday. Had a really good day today. So hopefully we get another prep day in, and we get back to being the team that showed up in Memphis and showed up here against Clayton State.
Dawn, we know that responded.
Who?
How has Fagan responded? Do you think it was people in the starting lineup?
She's responding. Fagan doesn't really have it. I don't have an issue with Fagan in practice. It's just she's got to give us a little bit more to start the basketball game. So we're going to see. We got one more prep day. Ashlyn won't start. I can tell you that.
Dawn, we know that Raven holds herself to such a high standard, and to have the performance that she did in Vegas, how have you seen her attack practice this week?
I think every single player fell short of how they really wanted to play. Even Chloe. Chloe had a double-double, but she took some ill-advised shots. We're just not that type of team, and they've taken responsibility. Raven, Pop, everybody's taking responsibility in performing at top level, the way that we need to perform so everybody looks good.
How would you handle this situation when you first started as a head coach in terms of dealing with a game that's sort of a shock to the system. You know, I mean, 20 years ago, would you handle a team differently than you do now, maybe because you've been around and know how to kind of push the right buttons the right way? I guess is what I'm asking.
I mean, basketball is really simple. It really is. You create habits and you execute your habits. When you don't, you lose. So it's the same approach. What you guys got something else about Ashley? Come on back. Come on back. See, I gotta come back to it. I got you. Huh?
I'm just wondering, I mean, this is a big thing for her coming back, and it's been a mess. I'm just wondering, you're used to dealing with blowback. You're used to it. You know, you're an adult. She's going to hear a lot of things in some other gyms. How is she prepared for it?
I mean, listen, the charges have been dismissed, okay? You know, on their way to expungement. Is it a hard thing for a young person to deal with? Absolutely. It was hard for all the young people that were involved in the altercation. I mean, it's hard for our university and our athletics departments, hard for, you know, even the solicitor's office, hard for our lawyers. It's hard for everybody. But I imagine that this isn't the first time that it's happened on any campus. So you deal with it. You deal with it head on, just like Ashlyn did. And now she finds herself back. We're not going to keep reliving it. We're going to keep getting better and making better decisions.
But my point is that she's going to go into Starkville or Austin or somewhere, and there's going to be signs. I mean, we know how people are. What advice will you give her?
Ashlyn will be who she is. She's created some really good habits, and you know, you saw her make a terrible mistake that if she could do it all over again, she'll do it again. She got teammates, she got coaches, she's got support system, she's got family. So, you know, people are going to be people, and she's going to ignore them, obviously. And if it gets to her to a point, then I'm going to take up for her, because that's what we're supposed to do.
Thank you, Coach.